Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, what we're going to try and attempt is to remove the gearbox in the Focus at the minute, take the gearbox apart, fit my new diff with new oil and the RTV stuff, and put it all back together. Half past 2, so best get cracking. So I've jacked the car up already. That was probably the hardest part of the job. Lol. And just need to take the splitter off, remove drive shafts, remove box, remove clutch, drain box before I do all of that, and then take the box off, take the box apart, and Bob's your uncle. So yeah, I've got a Gripper diff. Obviously for the IB6 gearbox. I think Ford Focus and Ford Fiesta IB6s are the same. I'm not too worried about why it says Ford Focus. I know I've got a Ford Focus, but it's obviously a Fiesta engine. I've got the race spec version, 4065 preload at 120 Newton meters, which should be interesting. I still need to unbox it and then see, because I've got new bearings with it as well, so I still need to see if they actually have to fit the bearings, or it comes pre-fitted sort of thing. Hopefully it comes pre-fitted, because that would make my life easier. I won't have to put bearings in the oven or whatever. But yeah, as I say, to start off with taking the splitter off, getting all the gubbins out of the way. Yeah, drain everything, clutch and box, and then take it off. So yeah, let's get to unboxing this first then. Okay then guys, so here we go. Oh yeah, that's what sold it for me. Lifetime warranty. So with the CAS diff, yes, I got it second hand, so I was blowing warranty out of the way already, but the guy I got it off, most of you'll know him as Sparkplug Steve. He had the diff in for probably, what was it, 2 track days and a few road miles, so I knew the diff was relatively good. I knew he broke it, which didn't really put me off at first, but I knew that he had replaced all the parts through his warranty anyway, so I think it was for his warranty anyway. But yeah, he replaced the bits, stuck it in my car. It's absolutely fine for about 7 months. I don't know why, but about 3 days, if you watch my previous episode, about 3 days before my track day, the diff decided to blow up. I went for alignment and I pulled into the car park, and yeah, there was just a weird clunk, and I kind of thought nothing of it at first. I thought, oh, it might have just been a pothole or something, because it felt like kind of harsh. So I thought nothing of it, carried on. Then went to pull out of the car park, not even got my alignment done at this point, and it felt like my drive shaft was snapping. So at first we assumed it was, drive shaft bearing or something like that. We thought nothing of it, but yeah, it turns out it was the diff, because we took the drive shafts off later that day, and yeah, just saw bits of diff floating about. So we've still not took that box apart. That's still at Fury Auto Works. Still need to dismantle that and see exactly what happened. But Steve spoke to me and said I can recognise the bit that it was. Showed me a diagram of the different bits of the diff, and it looks like the bits that were broken. So yeah, anyway, moving on. That was an expensive weekend, but I'm just not going to go into that. So yeah, just going to try and get this bad boy out. One moment please. First problem of the day. There's no bearings with it. For fuck's sake. Okay, so I definitely ordered bearings with it, and they've not come with bearings, so I'm pretty much stuffed already, aren't I? Right, okay, so the diff hasn't come with bearings. I've just tried to ring the company, I've bought them off, and they're closed till Monday. So what the plan is, I'm still going to take the box off, because I still want to have a diff for Silverstone next weekend. What I'm going to try and do is reuse the old bearings that are on the standard diff at the minute. All I can do is contact the company and say, look, you're fuming, you've not sent me the diff bearings, send them out sharpish. I can't really do much more than that, so you can probably see where I'm coming from, but I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to get the gearbox off, take the gearbox apart, have a look at the bearings, get the tool to remove the bearings, and then just go from there, I think. Sorry, I'm in a bit of a mood. You can probably tell why. It's just fucking all gone wrong recently. So what I need to do now is remove the nuts for the drive shafts into the hubs. So I've got my big old hench bar. I'm going to undo them, stick that in the caliper somewhere. Take the drive shafts out, take the boost pipes out. Probably should drain the oil still first, shouldn't I? And then yeah, just go from there. So I'll update you once I've drained the oil and shut the drive shafts out. We'll get there eventually. Calm, stay calm. Everything's fine. Everything's dandy. Oil I'm using for the diff once I get it in. So I've gone for Miller's CRX 7590 NT Plus. Notice it's not the one specifically for LSDs. I got advised pretty highly not to use it. Nigel Pinder and Team Prawn Racing all use Nick Vaughan, yeah, all use this stuff, and then a few. I think Nick Vaughan uses. Anyway, basically they use stuff that's made for the box rather than the diff. Because I nearly ordered the LSD stuff because I thought that would be good for the diff, but apparently the diff just takes whatever it wants to take, and then just look after your box sort of thing. So yeah. So that's the oil I'm using, and obviously I'm using this grey RTV gasket silicone stuff, just for the box when I actually take it, like crack it apart sort of thing. But yeah, just thought I'd update on what I'm using with that. Just about to drain the oil, and then both shafts will come out, and to take the clutch pipe off, try and clamp it somehow, and then yeah. Time to get the box off, so we're getting closer. I've not done much, but we're getting closer. Just drained the gearbox oil. It's a bit late now. I've caught it too late, but clear as day. Nothing in there that shouldn't be. I've been watching it the whole time, and I could see the road behind the car. So yeah, that's good times. So just let that drain now. Hopefully the wind won't fuck it about. It doesn't even smell that bad, but to be fair, I've only had the box in like 2 weeks, if that. So yeah. Oil's good at least. Next thing to do is remove all the boost pipes, then remove the drive shafts, and then it's gearbox time. Update: the passenger side shaft is out. That was dead easy. Just got to do the driver's side now. I've already took the little ring off. That was for the thing. That was the thing up there. So took the little ring off for the bearing. Just got to do the same to the other side, take the caliper off and disc and all that, and then give it a good old yeet, and it should come off. So yeah, I'll update you again once the other side's off. Time is 4:45, and I've not done a lot really, but I was fucking about for about an hour trying to call different people and sort something out so I could get a tool ready for the bearing, which thankfully I think Andy from Furiosa Works, thank you again, has got one. So yeah, I'm going to carry on taking everything off and then update you again once the box is nearly off, pretty much, I think now. So yeah, see you in a minute. Now then guys, little update. Massive thanks to James Warren for us. He's just come around and actually give us a hand yeeting the fucking gearbox out. So cheers mate. Yeah, gearbox is out, it's on the deck. I've just loosened all the bolts for the casing to come off. So I'm going to remove the casing now, get to the diff, and then go from there. But yeah, time check, what time is it? It is 5 o'clock, so we're doing good progress. We're not quite going to do it before night time deal. I don't know what I had in my head for doing that, but guess I was being optimistic before my fucking diff bearings didn't show up. But yeah, I'm just going to remove the casing now. Best tool in the world, by the way. I love this thing. Oops, daisies. Good time. What I need to do is, well, I've just undone the top kind of gear bolt thing, so they're all there. Next thing I need to do is, all the bolts are off now, just checked, so I just need to, oh, that was easy. I need to crack it off. I removed the gear selector as well. Because remember last time, if I didn't remove the gear selector, it wouldn't come off nicely. So yeah, I've just removed that as well. Just find the spot now to do this last seal, and then yeah, I think I'll just give it a wiggle, to be honest. I'll update you once once the gears are on show, because it's a two-hand job, this one. So I'll see you in a minute. Gearbox is off, or casing's off. I've had a quick look already of all the teeth, and everything looks to be brilliant. So yeah, bearings look intact, the spinning at least. Once I've got all the gearing out, I'm going to once I've got all the gearing out, I'm going to spin the diff and make sure that that's fine. It's not making any weird or rough noises. But yeah, box is off. Oh, the magnet came with it. And there is hardly any metal filings on it whatsoever. There's some, I'm just about to see some. On the other side there's some. But, to be fair, there's not even as much as there was on the last box I had, so that's good news already. Saying that, this box has only done like, what, 30,000 miles, so it shouldn't be that bad anyway, but yeah, I probably made you really dirty now. Yeah, I'm going to take the gearing off, get to the LSD, take the final drive ring off, and then yeah, put it on that. Then I've got to wait for the bearing puller, whatever you call it, bearing puller. So yeah, there's lots to be cracking on to, so I'm going to get to that, and then I shall update you once it's completely apart. So won't be long. It's dead easy to do. Sorry, I'm not really giving you a step by step, but I guess it's pretty self-explanatory. What I'm finding weird actually is on the standard. So this is the standard box that came with the car. I've just took the casing off, and there's no sealant on it, which I was surprised about. So I'm just wondering how it's sealed, because there's literally nothing, absolutely nothing anywhere. So it's either really flush fit, or I don't know, but I'll definitely be putting sealant back on, because I'll be doing it to torque all the bolts and that, but yeah, I'll definitely be putting it on because I don't trust myself that much. But yeah, as I say, I've just had a quick look through all the teeth. Everything seems fine. Everything seems smooth. So yeah, I'll get all the gears off, put them in a nice, clean, safe place, and then yeah, just hope and pray the puller comes shortly. Guys, so everything in the gearbox side of things has been removed. A little tighter than I thought, but I guess it's not been taken apart since factory. So yeah, diff's still in there, the standard one, and it moves freely. Doesn't feel rough or anything like that. So I guess I am gonna use those bearings. And if it comes to it again, obviously I know how to take a gearbox apart, put the new bearings on, and blah 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 blah. So yeah, unfortunately the guy with the puller, Andy, bless him, he's forgot to take it home with him, so I can't pick it up shortly. So time check now is 5:30. So I completely gutted the box in what, like 20 minutes or so. So yeah, I need to go to Laugh to pick up the puller, so then I can pull these off. Probably even take the diff with me and just do it there, to be honest. And well, at least take them off there so I don't bugger it up. So I'll take the diff with me. Pull the bearings off. Actually, make sure they are the right size before I go, because that would be a nightmare, wouldn't it? What's that, new versus old? Yeah, the right size, isn't they? So yeah, the diff moves freely, which is good. Right, I'm just rambling now. So yeah, what the plan is: go to Louth in the trusty old Mondeo, pick up the bearing puller. Take this with me, pull the bearings there and then. I'll probably take the ring gear off as well so it doesn't get dusty and shitty. Then come home, put the diff in the freezer, the bearings in the oven for, I don't know how long, but long enough to get hot, I guess. Then I can just pop the new these bearings onto the new diff. And then put the whole ring gear back on, torque it up to spec, and then put the whole thing back together and put the box back in. So it is going to be dark. Failed at that, but yeah, I think if I crack on tonight, I will probably be able to get the car running again tonight, which would be nice. So I'll be able to wear in my new diff, which will be awesome. So yeah, it's about an hour drive to Louth. Hour drive back, so by the time I get back it's going to be 7:30. So yeah, I'll do a quick tidy up, make sure everything's good. I think my missus is going out at 7. Anyway, rambling on again. 7:30, so that gives me, well, it gives me the rest of that. I've got a light, so fuck it, let's go for it. So yeah, I'm just going to tidy everything up, go to Louth, pick the puller up. Yeah, you know what I'm doing. So I'll update you when I'm on the way there. So yeah, that's bits of diff that have just come out of my CAS diff from the 3 mile an hour car park explosion. So we're trying to get the bearings off for the new diff because SCC didn't send me my bearings. So we've got one off. We couldn't get the other side off because it's too close to the diff, so now we're going to try and get that off. And hope we don't break it because this is our last resort. Andy's on camera. Andy's oblivious.
I love.
So yeah, I'll give you an update once we've got this cunt off.
Racing fucking lube.
Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah, it's pretty good camera, it's fine. Oh, he's on mute.
He's on mute?
Yeah, he's talking about us, that's why. Both bearings off, unscathed. I'm going to properly clean them up before I stick them onto my new diff. But yeah. Good times. Thank you very much, Kieran.
That's alright, in a film.
We'll get there. So yeah, that 10-minute job turned into, what, like 2 hours? What time is it now? It's fucking 9 o'clock.
You messaged me at... When did you look it back off?
One moment, please.
That's Spotify. Andy messaged me at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
So
So
asking whether I was doing it tonight.
it took an hour to get here. So we've been on it for fucking 2 hours, mate.
We had to wait for Tom to finish washing his hair.
Oh yeah, Tom was in the shower, so he was doing his perm up. But yeah. If anyone can tell me, or has anyone's had a CAS diff, can tell me why the fuck this exploded at 2 mile an hour on a car park, that'd be fantastic. It was fitted right, it was fine for 7 months, it just went bang all of a sudden for some reason. So yeah, leave us a comment if you could tell us what happened to the diff, and if I did something wrong before I fail with my new one. But yeah, as I say, we've got the bearings out, so that's the main aim of the game. So I'll be able to go home now, stick the bearings in the oven, diff in the fridge or the freezer, put them on, put the diff on, put the gearbox on, and drive it. So I'll update you when I get back home. Thanks again, Nate.
That's alright.
Thank you very much. Hey guys, day 2 of refitting my gearbox. So in today's little video, what I'm going to be doing is trying to fit the diff, the new diff. As you saw yesterday, we took the bearings out of the old diff because the people who sold me the diff didn't send the bearings with me. So what I'm going to do now is put the bearings in the oven for I think 20 minutes or so, as per advice from Steve, Sparkplug Steve. I've had the diff now in the freezer overnight, so hopefully that'll be nice and cold, and then yeah, hopefully just plonk the new bearings on and then put everything back together and start putting the gearbox back on. So yeah, I'm going to do that now. 1 moment. So oven is on full send. Time is 11 o'clock, so I'll come back in 20 minutes and take the diff out, put the bearings on, and hope it all works out. So see you shortly. The bearings are in the oven for 20 minutes or so. But just come outside and just give this head a quick or housing a quick scrape, get all the shite off that's been on there. Because obviously you need to make it as good a seal as you possibly can before adding the sealant on. So I'm just getting a little kind of chisel thing and scraping away all the stuff. There's not much on here to be fair, but I'll make sure it's perfectly flat for the other side once it goes. I've already done that side, so that's fair enough. It's just this side that needs doing. Yeah. Just a bit more to do. Yeah, that's pretty flat actually. Yeah, I think it's not going to take a lot. Say, for some reason, weirdly, I can't ever, when I took the last gearbox apart, I can't remember if I saw sealant or not, but I remember having to clean, whether it was just this or not. But when I didn't see any sealant on this, I thought, oh, is that normal? Or? Also, if you guys do take your diff apart or gearbox apart, there's always some kind of rough bits. They're not cracks, it's just in the casting. I think it's just where it spat up a little bit. I had exactly the same in my other gearbox, and I had exactly the same in my RB5 gearbox when I took that apart. So yeah, I should say that's pretty normal, nothing to worry about there. Also with the gripper diff, I've been told that the standard shims are within tolerance of the new diff, so I should be alright from what I've been told to run the standard shims. I didn't have to run a standard shim with my CAS diff. It was a thing, well, a lot of people said, oh, you have to run them, and a lot of people said, no, you should be alright. I don't think it was the shims that caused the issue in the last problem I had. So yeah, literally just gonna, hopefully in a second, get the bearings out of the oven, because my house is starting to stink and I don't think my missus is going to appreciate it. Hopefully they'll just slide on. I'll have to grease the bearings up with some silicone grease. There we go, like for pins and stuff. Or I could use CV grease as well. To be fair, it's all the same stuff. Just to get grease going in there, so it's got a good start in life. Because they are old bearings, so I'm going to get grease on there, put everything back together, and then yeah. But everything's looking nice and messy at the minute, as per usual when you're working on a car. But yeah, might need someone to come around and give us a hand fitting the gearbox again soon. But yeah, so clean the magnet up good and proper. So that's ready to get back in. Obviously, as soon as you put it down anywhere, it just collects shit. But yeah, I'll give it another wipe once everything's back together. But yeah, ring piece is there. That's ready to go. Obviously, it's still in the freezer. I'm just waiting. I'm bored. It's only been 15 minutes, but I'm still bored. What I might do is take it out there quick because it is smelling rather hot in there. Take the diff out of the freezer and just see if it fits on. If it doesn't, I'll just leave it a little longer. But yeah, all right, I'm going to do that now, I think. See what happens. See if it works then. That was cold. And this is going to be boiling hot. Right, you ready? Look at that. How easy was that? It just fell on. Quick. I'll leave on it. So yeah, that was 15 minutes in the oven, overnight in the freezer, and she's on. I'm going to leave it 10 minutes to cool down now, and then hopefully it'll be alright to fit. I'm impressed with that. Gear back on. Cool, so I'm going to get that in the vise now, just torque it to spec. Just need to find out quickly what the torque rating is. There's Titan, in there. Says Titan 4 at a time at 50 Newton meters per bolt. Doesn't say anything about 90 degrees just yet, so I'm just going to slap it in the vise and then turn it tighten it so it's 50 Newton meters, and then do all of the bolts, and then I'll read a bit further down and see if it says anything about 90 degree turns as well. But yep, alright, just one moment please, I'll just set you up and then I'll do that for you. Okay, so I'm going to tighten it now. I need to find the 4 bolts I'm going to tighten, so it's those 2 there and those 2 there. Get to 50 Newton meters. Which is there. Doesn't seem like it's going to be tight enough, but we'll give it a go anyway. There's one. Yep. that one. There's that one. Basically across from each other, so 1, 2, and it says, yeah, so I'm just going to follow the instructions, it's all there, and it's 50 Newton meters, which I've just done, and then 90 degrees, so I'm just going to follow the stages I've just done. So I need to do this one next. That one, and that one. And then this one. And this one. And then last but not least, this one. And the bottom one. Okay, so they're on. So they are 50 Newton meters torque and then 90 degree turn. That 90 degree turn was tough, so yeah. And what I did was I went down the torque wrench just to find out what 50 Newton meters and 90 degrees was. And it worked out a little, just I think it was 128 Newton meters or something, so I've just gone around the whole ring. Yeah, I can tell I'm knackered. I've just gone around the whole ring just to check at 128 Newton meters and they all clicked, so I'm happy with that. So that's done now. I need to add some grease to the bearings, front and back. And then, yeah, box can start going back together then, which is quite exciting. Once the box is together, well, what I'll do is I'll set you up somewhere and you can watch me struggle with the box for a bit. So I'll just put some grease on these bearings. I'm just going to use this stuff. It's meant for your brakes, but it's like silicone. I think it's alright. If not, I'll just use some CV grease because I've got some of that somewhere. That's probably better, to be honest, because it's, you know, it's as long as it gets full of grease and it's not rough, then I'll be happy. But yeah, I'll do that now, then get the box back together, and yeah, we'll be laughing. So yeah, I'll set you up somewhere and then we can watch me struggle. This is the fun part. Trying to get everything to mesh at once.
A few moments later.
Too bad. You little bastard. Cool, so that is on. I need to re-grease that because I've put my towel all over it, but that's no problem. But the bottom one is still greased. It seems to be spinning fine. And the gears, tolerance wise, I think you can tell, a bit tight. Probably just about to see here. It's all good. So it's not too close to the bottom, not too close to the top. Just got to make sure everything matches up when I put the rest of it on, but I'll get the main gears now. which are these. Plonk them in, and then yeah, re-grease that, and then I'll have to put some silicone on the bell housing so everything will go back together without any leaks. So one moment. Always the fiddliest bit, just you filming, yeah. Trying to get everything lined up as you're spinning gears and wiggling it and spinning gears and fiddliest. Cool. We'll get there. And then I've had to slightly lift as well. Like that. Whew. Yeah, try not to do that again. So what's happened here is, obviously I've just pulled on that selector and these little ball bearings have come out. It's not a big issue. It's only the synchros, so it's not the end of the world, but all you got to do pretty much is put them back in. Doesn't matter which way, because they're all the same. Just place them back in. So don't sweat if it does happen to you. And then there's teeth on the synchros that line up with the changer. So I just need to do that. Probably should put that selector back in. Again, before you whack it, just make sure all the bearings are in, which they are. And then all you've got to do is give it a little love tap. I'll do this side and hold this side down. And that's off. But if that does happen to you, obviously make sure the bearings don't go in the gearbox for a start. Secondly, there's 3 of them, make sure you put all 3 back in, because if you don't, your synchros will go very quickly. So, obviously I've just put all that together. It's always worth just spinning the box very quick, making sure, obviously nothing's tight yet, so it's not going to feel as smooth as maybe as it should. But just to make sure that everything spins relatively freely, which it does. So what I'm going to do now then is just quickly put the top of the box on, just put a couple of bolts down, again just double check if it spins freely, and then yeah, then I'll properly seal it up. But yeah, it's gone alright so far. Yeah, let's crack on then. Just let it sit, that's it. Cool. Okay, okay. Just double check if it spins freely still, which it does. It spins better than before. Obviously, it's not fully sealed yet, but what I want to do now I know it spins and it's happy, lift it back up, put some sealant around the, clean it up again, put some sealant around the edge of the bell housing and the actual casing, glue it for good, stop it in the car, well, stick the gear selector back in as well, which is just which is an easy job, I'll show you. in a second. So you get the idea. Being quite generous with your thing, just do it bang in the middle, so once it does it squidges out rather than in or out. So I'm going to go around this because this will be quite boring to watch, and then I'll give you a close-up of trying to bang the box back on. Cool, just a quick update guys. I have got the box back on, the actual outer casing. So there's 6 torques here for the actual gears that are inside. There's quite a lot of bolts that go around. Some of them are inside the bell housing. I've put my thingy back on, and that's just reminded me actually I need to get the O-ring that's out of there, so then I can put the tube in quite easily. Next thing I want to do is put the gear selector on. Watch that there, because it is extremely sharp. But the rest is alright, as I've just found out. It didn't really hurt. So, yep, going to put the gear selector in now. So if I put you here again, see that? Dead easy job. I should never say that, but it is. Let's make sure it goes all the way in. There you go. There you go. No setting on the old instructions for what torque it is, so I'm guessing it's just FT. Let's give it a good old tighten. We're getting all the gears there. Getting all the gears there. Yeah, again, I'll just see if the shaft spins freely when it's in neutral. And it does. So, happy days. Box is back together. I'm just going to quickly go over everything and just quickly double check tightening wise. But gear selector's on, obviously. Casing's on, bell housing's on, slave cylinder's on. Just need to grab that O-ring out of there for the clip fluid to bleed it, and then yeah, just go and put the box back on. So you're going to be joining me in a minute to put the box back on. So how the O-ring was, it was this. So this tends to get stuck in the slave cylinder side. It's a little O-ring, and if you don't have that, one, your slave cylinder will leak like buggery, and two, you'll never ever in a million years get this thing in. So basically what you need to do, it's difficult to show you with one hand, but put this O-ring on the end of there and make sure you've got another little O-ring just next to it. So when you push it into the slave cylinder, it's like a positive little kind of click, and then the split pin thing kind of holds it in. But yeah, I'm ready to get the box now, so I'm going to hench it over here and sit you over here, and you can watch me struggle doing that next. Now then guys, update time. So whilst he was gone, I figured I might as well just crack on with this gearbox. I got my mate Nathan round and he helped me out putting it back in, because not quite strong enough on my own. Also, you don't really need to watch me put it in because I took it out, and that's the easy part of it compared to the most part. So obviously I've got my drive shaft back on, intake's back on, all the boost pipes are back on this side as well. Everything's back on, so I'm just going to turn her on and see if it makes any strange noises that it shouldn't be making. See if it leaks any, which in a minute it's not. Nathan also helped me bleed the clutch as well, because yeah, it obviously needed doing. But yeah, no, car's back together now, so I'm literally going to turn her on, turn her on, make sure there's no leaks, put the wheels on, go through all the gears, just make sure literally everything's copacetic, and then yeah, probably do lock to lock as well, because I know if I do lock to lock, then I know the diff, even though it's not loaded up, would still be working. It's not going to crunch or anything like that. Then what we'll do is stick the wheels on, stick the splitter on, drop it down, and call it a night. But yeah, pretty stoked. So I'm just going to get to it. Start the car. No time like the present. So power on. So fuel, ignition, fuel pump. Okay, all seems alright. I think I'll go through the gears now. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put you outside just so you can probably hear. Seems good to me. There's no weird noises in the cab at least, so yeah, I'm happy with that. Making sure there's no leaky boots and all seems well. So yeah, happy with that. So what I'll do now is literally just put everything back together and call that a job. Oh, what a ride. Hey guys, so she is all back on the floor, nice and dirty, ready to go. So tea's ready, so I'm going to go and get my tea, but after that I think I'll go for a quick test drive. But other than that, girls on the floor. Only thing I've got left to do now is the front half of the cage, which is in Andy's hands at Fury Auto Works. So yeah, I hope this video's been slightly interesting. Apologies, it's going to be a long one, but there's things happened that I didn't expect or want to happen. So that'll be it for this one, guys. So yeah, I'll see you at Silverstone in a week. Not even a week, like 6 days. 6 days, shit. So yeah, first race, Silverstone, modified Ford Series in 6 days. And she's going to be there. So take care, guys. I'll see you then.